My son's going into his high school year. I'm looking for my next tour. I made the kids a promise that they would be able to graduate high school where they started it. But the Navy needed me back overseas on a ship there. So my wife and I, we sit down and we talk about it and we think that, you know what, maybe this is the time now for us to transition out. Let's look into civilian life. And you're making the scariest decision of your life to leave everything you know behind. The first time you say no to an offer is the scariest thing you will ever do. But I know that what I'm being offered isn't right. So I'd been in the Navy about 6 years when I met my wife. At this point, I'm thinking I'm gonna make this a career. I'm gonna try to be as successful as I can. In order to do that, you've got to take the most challenging, most difficult jobs. That's the only way. We get married, we have my daughter. The entire time my wife's pregnant with my daughter, I'm in Somalia doing the UN pullout, and I'm doing that mission. I tell her, I think we need to go to this ship. One, I got to move you away from your mother. Two, I've got to take you to an area that you're not familiar with. And oh, by the way, I'm going to spend the next 3 years on a ship gone 80% of the time, and you've got 2 small children. And she's like, all right, let's do this. Right? We jump in. I'm still amazed to this day that she said yes to any of these crazy ideas. But we would sit down and we would discuss them. The discussion was always about, this is going to improve our family. This is the next step. And we would look at it and we'd weigh the pros and the cons. And then what the goal is, what are you trying to get out of here? And we're looking 5 years down the road, and we're looking 10 years down the road. And I know I want to be an officer and I want to be in command of this thing, and I've got to get there. And how do I get there? Now I got to feed a family on this, and I got to be good. I got a reputation of building successful teams and being really good at it, especially with personnel management. Folks that maybe aren't adjusting to the system right, are choosing not to. You start really realizing the interpersonal relationships. Now, I wish I knew earlier as a younger person how important they were. That stuff all connects to where I'm at today, to this moment. Perfect example. U.S. Navy ship, USS Port Royal, runs aground off the coast of Pearl Harbor, Hawaii in 2009. They do a big review. It's a culture issue, it's a training issue. We got a warship that's $60 million worth of damage, that's taxpayers' money. There are maintenance issues where it wasn't being maintained correctly. People weren't being trained correctly. It's a bad performing organization. So I end up getting a call and I get an offer. Hey, shipmate, got a cruiser, Aegis cruiser. And I said, absolutely, I'll take it. That's the pinnacle of combat operations. And he says, well, I got USS Port Royal. Now, she had just been in the paper like about a month before, and I was like, I had a few choice words for him, like, no, I'm not. He says, the commanding officer wants you by name. I was like, who is he? I don't know him. I don't know him at all. But he said, I've put 6 people up for this job. He's refused all of them. He says you and there's one other name are the only 2 people that he'll take for this. The day I stepped on board her, 85% of the crew only had 60 hours at sea. 60 hours at sea, that's a couple of days. We told the captain, we said, we're gonna get her back. We're gonna make this work. And it was not easy. It's the hardest job I've ever done in my entire life. I didn't see my family for 2 years, and I loved every second of it. So the end of this story is that Port Royal ends up becoming very successful. Less than 2 years of being the worst ship in the Navy. She's the #1 ship in the Navy. Now here's the thing, you talk about the relationship. That commanding officer that picked me, that said, I want this guy, didn't know me. He had never met me. And someone who I still to this day don't know who it was, knew me, said you need to call this guy for this job. This part of my life is over. And I want to go into corporate America, and I want to see if I got what it takes to be one of these CEOs of these companies. And so I started looking into those areas. I started putting out resumes, and I did everything. I contacted recruiters, job boards, things on LinkedIn, social media. I'm pumping out resumes. I attacked this like a military operation. Finding the right talent is essential to any organization. And you're working with HR to streamline your candidates into this group. The first thing on it says 5 years consecutive in this position. I don't have 5 years consecutive in that position. I have 25 years in that position, but I've got 2 here and I've got 2 here. So the efficiency is screening you out. In corporate America, it's not a positive to change jobs every 2 years. I'm coming in and I'm interviewing for these positions, and I'm being told immediately, we're the guy you want, but the salary level isn't that it should be. And so I couldn't take it. And I remember not sleeping the night before. The guy's gonna call me, and all I'm gonna do is tell him no. I know that I've got this value, and I know that I'm going to benefit this organization, but it's not right. I can't make the money work. That was pretty scary, that very first no. 5 months goes by, 4 months goes by, 3 months goes by. I'm not getting any offers I can take, and they're starting to dry up. And you start thinking back, man, maybe I should have taken that job. Maybe I should have said yes to this. And you start questioning what you're doing. And on day X, the last paycheck's gonna hit the bank. So you're putting on this really strong face. This family sees you as almost a superhuman. You can accomplish anything. And they trust that I'm gonna take care of them. My wife has followed me all around the world. And you're starting to face the reality that you're not superhuman and that you are not, maybe you're not the person that you think you are. I didn't like the way it made me feel. I don't like the way it makes me feel today. And so the clock keeps ticking, and the offers aren't coming, and the offers aren't coming. And you get an offer, and it's better than what you've gotten before, but it's not what you know you're worth. And you say, I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna settle for this. I'm gonna settle here because I can do this for the family. And so I didn't realize how difficult that part would be. Here's what I did know. I didn't get any callbacks from job boards. I didn't get any callbacks from going to corporate websites and putting my resume in on a job that you have that I fit the description for. I didn't get any of that. Every callback that I got was a relationship-based callback. Someone knew me, or someone knew someone that knew me. What do you know about this guy, Shawn Trisler? And that's how those callbacks would happen. And meanwhile, a very close friend of mine, a very successful businessman, takes executives out, tries to introduce them to the benefits of seeking out and hiring veterans. They'll pair a bunch of CEOs and executives with a couple of veteran mentors. And so I go on the mission with them, and I'm standing at a campfire one night, and one of the individuals that I had met on this mission starts talking to me about a position that I think you would be perfect for this. I will offer you X amount of dollars to come work for me. And that's by a campfire, without a resume, without an interview. How did this happen? He was a fellow vet, and he said, I found an organization that let me be me. I found an organization that knew what I could bring to the table, and they're letting me be me. And I said, this is the person that I want to work for. And I took that job, and I've never looked back. I know they understand what I bring, and I know they appreciate it, and I know they have plans for me. I have big plans for myself.
So now to answer your second question about
And but civilians have bonuses. You have a bonus in the military for being the best. Now I'm getting paid for being the best. Are you kidding me? That's easy. I know that I'm going to end up leading an organization from the very top, whether that's my own organization or whether it's somebody else's. That's where I'm going to be, and it's going to be successful too. I feel rewarded, I feel challenged, I feel inspired and motivated. It's fast moving, I feel valued. But the difference is now I get to come home and I'm going to walk in the door, and my wife is going to be there. I'm going to see my wife. I'm able to go to games with my son. I'm able to spend that time with him. I see him grow as a leader, as a teammate, and as a friend, and as a leader. And he's stepped into these leadership roles. And there's the confidence there that's going to take him next into that next phase as he's coming into college. He's just being himself. And that's pretty damn cool.
There we go! Hey,